Hello. Uh, it's kind of a weird night for me. I can't really sleep. I was wondering what to do, and after recording some of Astronautis's beta for the developer, I felt like recording in general. For some reason, I landed on Intrusion 2 as a candidate for a playthrough. I really like this game, and I actually have kind of a history with it, the developer, sort of. It's not that deep, but this is a really fun 2D side-scrolling. I guess it's most comparable to Metal Slug in a lot of ways, but it's based on a physics system. I think I'll just get straight into it. I'll be playing on a high difficulty. The game only has 9 levels. It's relatively short, but it's like an arcade action game. It's pretty replayable. It's not really about spending a ridiculous amount of time just beating it once. And I guess it's worth noting that this is a solo project. The music is done by a friend of the developer who has a band. Actually, can't I? It's in the credits. Yep. Programming, art design, Alexei Abraменko. And then George Ziof, I think. Android, I think, is their band. 3 testers. Oh wow, that's amazing. So yeah, solo Russian game dev. And man, I really hope he does more, because actually last I checked he was working on a 3D game engine, and he put the protagonist of this game into it with an enemy from this game, which is really exciting, but I won't hold my breath. In due time, if he finishes that, it's going to be amazing. Immediately I have something to talk about. This intro with that rocket and you parachuting down, this continues immediately after the first Intrusion, which was a free Flash game at the time, which I did play as a kid, and that's my history. I was following the developer. Gameplay-wise, I don't have that much to say right now. You start with a pistol. If you pick up another pistol, you get guns akimbo with limited ammo. Otherwise, the pistol has unlimited ammo. Oh, should not be getting hit by these, but whatever. You can see the physics straight away with the parachute and the rigid body simulation with these rocks. Wait, do I even need this? I don't. There's a rock down here already. Yeah. These icicles shatter into more bits that do disappear after a while, but it's still nice. Oh, and I'm pretty sure that Alexei wrote this physics system himself. I'm just trying to trigger these guys, because why not? Which is pretty impressive, because it's like, yeah, it can be a little chaotic, maybe a bit jank, as people say. But it's mostly really good. And consistent enough that I enjoy playing the game on high difficulty and getting in intense fights. These guys are invincible until they unfurl. And if they run into you in their ball form, they will damage you. Contact damage is not normally a thing, but things moving really, really fast or crushing you will hurt you. Also worth pointing out, I really love the smooth animation. I think it's 2D sprites simulating 3D is what this is. It looks so good. And there are examples of it on bigger enemies. You see there, I actually don't know if that was crushing damage, or I think it was just contact damage. Crushing damage can actually insta-kill you. Oh, I forget that these guys spawn if you backtrack for some reason. So my aim with this is to just have fun, play this game, talk about it. Maybe some people will buy it, who knows? But maybe not, because what do I have, like just over 10 subscribers, and I have no idea why I have them. People just sub because of all the random comments I leave all over the place. Some of which would probably embarrass me if I saw them again. Oh well. If I'm not even looking for subscribers and I'm getting them, I think there's something nice about that. Like, people genuinely care. Oh yeah, the checkpoint flag is another place where I can point out the physics. And I guess now's a good time to talk about what high difficulty does. It changes some enemy composition. Like, I'm pretty sure these soldiers are not here normally. And in general, soldiers will be armed with heavier weapons. Like, that soldier had an SMG, and ragdolls are another fun thing in this game. Enemies can die in hilarious fashion. Oh, and I should have mentioned sooner, it's really cool that the robotic enemies drop all these parts when they blow up. What is it about enemies in games leaving corpses that's so gratifying somehow? It's like, as you play a level, you just leave behind evidence of combat. That's probably what makes it so cool. I think earliest example I saw of that was classic Doom, of course. It also served a purpose there with some of the more labyrinthine level design, where if you see corpses, you've been there. You're retracing your steps. I'll try to point out more high difficulty changes. It's not a big deal. Oh, one thing worth noting is, how many pieces of that? Oh, I think I have 9. Oh, let's not get too distracted. I have 9 hit points. Your maximum life and healing from pickups is higher on lower difficulties. So I think on, let me see if I can remember it. We have 9 on high difficulty. Small health pickups heal you for 1 or 2. I think it's random, I'm not sure. Medium ones, I think, heal you for 3 always. And red ones heal you for like 4 or 5, but I guess I'll see. Maybe my memory's a bit fuzzy on that. I'm not one to memorize numbers. Oh, and these jetpack soldiers are really fun because when you kill them, the jetpack stays on, and their bodies just kind of... yeah. Come to think of it, another thing you might be reminded of by this game if you played stuff back in the Flash era is Plasma Burst, right? I seem to remember an action game. I think it had some physics to it. Maybe some gore. I remember the name Plasma Burst very distinctly, but I think I only played it like once. Don't have many memories of it. Alright, even jumping on them is a bad idea when they're curled into a ball. Am I full on SMG? Yup. Okay. I think those ammo drops from those robots, they're not just SMG ammo, although maybe they are. I seem to remember them giving ammo to one of the other guns as well. Because it just says ammo, it doesn't say the specific type. Yeah, there's a life pickup. Oh. So if it is random, I just low rolled and only got 1. And here's a fun example of the physics. Killing those guys with an object. I would not recommend trying to grab those guns, although might be tempted to. It's just risky because you might get crushed, and it's like, what are you getting crushed for? A pistol? You're probably not even gonna use. Oh right, I forgot. You automatically grab onto these ropes when you fall. I think you can hold down to not grab them. Yeah. No. Come on, man. Quit hugging that pistol. Ah, +2. There it is. This always struck me as a nice little detail. You gotta get that out of the way so you can actually jump up here. And then the lights from here on out are off because they're disconnected from the power. Especially when I know that this is a solo project, that's just such a nice detail. This is the only place in the game where something like that happens. I guess it's good that it's early on. Oh. I always wondered about these textures if... Let me see if I can... oh yeah, this is the same. The first Intrusion used a lot of like photos of rocks and clouds and stuff like that. Its art style was a bit dissonant. It's more cohesive here. And I think these realistic rocks kind of help the more cartoony enemies and protagonists stand out. Also, I forget, I think I'm running on very low resolution because for some reason this game has, like, I've had issues with it. Let me look real quick. Wait, wasn't it? Default. What would default mean? You know what, I'm not gonna mess with it. I think it looks fine enough as is. The only thing I'm gonna point out is that our protagonist has a cool scarf, which you can make out with low resolution, but he also has orange sunglasses. It's kind of a cool design. It's simple, but it's memorable enough. Alright, you can't shoot through semi-solids in this game. Fun thing, you don't even need to shoot these turrets if you just tip them over. That'll disable them. Oh, and since up is jump, I've always found this weird. To fall through a semi-solid, you need to hold down and press up. I can't think of the control scheme being that way in any other game like this. Of course, you can still kill these things by shooting them enough. And I'm not sure if I can showcase it here, but the turret I knocked over, if I make it stand up again, it'll reactivate. It never really comes into play. It's not like enemies will do that to you. Oh, I guess you can disconnect this from the power as well. And I'm pretty sure there weren't any lights, were there? No, no. Whoops. Oh well. Slight waste of time. Wait, were these lights on? I don't think I've ever disconnected that generator. Huh. I'll also see if these were on when I watch the video back. I was hoping that would knock it over, but I guess not. Part of the fun of this game is just screwing around with the physics and seeing how you can kill certain enemies or really throw them off. I just want to... Obviously, if I shoot this thing, it's going to blow up, but... Just want to showcase what I was talking about with these. Because there have been times where I knock this one over, but it ends up standing upright again, so it just reactivates down here, and now it has a different firing angle. Man. Oh, it's barely visible, but I guess it's a good time as any to talk about score. This game does have a scoring system, but it's unfortunately really bad. The gist of it is, you can infinitely farm points at multiple points in the game. Points at multiple points. There's definitely a better way to say that. But actually, those snowballs I've been destroying this whole time... Hold on. First off, I just remembered there's an optional area here. And let me show off the blaster, I suppose. High damage piercing weapon. really strong. Good for killing soldiers that are behind cover. I should probably make more use of it. It can also set them on fire sometimes. Oh, there's no snowballs over here. I guess this checkpoint is nice. Because the last one's a bit further back. And of course that's the area we couldn't reach because that bridge blew up. Level design is cohesive enough, I think. I'm a bit scatterbrained. I hope I'm not interrupting my thoughts as I talk. I'm talking more than normal, but that's good. I'm getting used to videos. I didn't comment enough on the intro to the game. The rocket that crashes into the background is the final level of Intrusion 1. You fight the final boss atop it, and the game ends with, I'm gonna call him Intrusion Man, going down into the rocket, finding a parachute, and jumping out before the thing crashes. And that's the end of the first level. Whenever you go through a screen transition like that. Okay, so here I can showcase it. It's a nice detail that you can roll up these snowballs, and they get bigger. The problem is when they get big enough, they split into more snowballs, and if you pay attention to my score, they give you scores. So theoretically, if you just messed around with these snowballs for an indefinite amount of time, you could get a high score just from that. That sucks. Let me see if I can keep it going for just a little bit to prove the concept. Maybe there's something I don't know about the snowballs, like they get more fragile, so you can't do it infinitely, but even if you can't do it with the snowballs, you can definitely do it with some more lucrative things later on. So for this playthrough, I'm going to try to set a high score without farming points too much. Yeah, you can just keep doing this, so I'm going to stop now. That's nice that you can use that to get up here, and the snowball. It doesn't have anything too useful in it, but that's something. Ah, here's the first of really cool enemy designs that take advantage of the physics. I don't know what this thing's official name is, but I call it a tripod, because that's what it looks like. And if it catches you, there's a bit of a quick time event. But you sometimes want to get caught by that because it instantly destroys one of the claws. Okay, come on. Oh, that's not good. If you destroy all 3 claws, that'll disable it. You can also shoot it directly in the face, ignoring the claws, and that'll also kill it. I haven't exactly paid attention to which method is faster. I think shooting it directly is faster. And here's another point about optimizing score being really monotonous. And this game doesn't have a time limit or anything, so there's no pressure. But yeah, destroying stuff like this as much as it can be destroyed also gets you score. I don't think this breaks down anymore. Okay. But yeah, like that tentacle I can break 2 more times. This one I can break once more. And here we have a high difficulty change. On anything other than high difficulty, this turret wall is not operational. And once I've destroyed it all. And here's another example of farming points, by the way. You can just tap singular shots and destroy the destructible bullets fired by the wall. It's pretty silly. Let me just kill these guys and I'll explain. So there was a seat, right? And a gun that flew out. Wait, where did they go? Did they fly off in this direction? Or... oh, maybe they disappeared. Some props do disappear. Or bits of debris, that is. So, if you're playing on lower difficulties, this the armor is placed here, but they haven't installed the gun or the seat yet, and you can actually find the gun and the seat down here. Again, really nice details. You can tell that Alexei worked on this game for quite a while. It was like a few years. Was it 7 years? I forget, but it was something like that. Okay, I'll try shooting it directly this time, just to show that, I guess. Oh. It's pretty hard to escape that. Oh, well. Oh, and if you destroy the claws, the head randomly blows up or just disables. But if it doesn't blow up, you still want to blow it up for points. Yeah, that's quite a bit. Or, well, you probably shouldn't care about score in this game. I already described why it doesn't really... Like, the integrity of scoring is not really there. I love score. I'll play arcade games over and over again for the sake of score. Ha. Some crushing damage to that guy. Yeah, I think if an object with enough velocity presses you against a solid surface, it deals damage. If it doesn't just briefly press you, but it's like heavy, like this boulder, and it completely presses you against the wall, then it crushes you and insta-kills you. Like that. It might have something to do with the weight of the objects, or... It could be rather complicated, I'm not sure. I really love these stretchy tree spikes. There's just something cool about them. Why do I love this checkpoint flag so much? Maybe it's reminding me of Crash Bandicoot, because I believe it's spelled out checkpoint in halves like that. Maybe that's what's in my head. Oh yeah, these two soldiers, I can tell you for a fact, are not here on lower difficulties. I think just this guy is. And then the giant wolves show up. That is a ridiculously massive wolf. I also really like its animation. Again, it can be rather janky, but oh, and here's some Metal Slug influence. We can ride the wolf. The way this controls is pretty strange. Right now I'm holding the right movement key, and the wolf is slowly moving backwards. If I move forwards, it's really quick. It can jump really high and really far. You just kind of got to get a feel, because this is real-time simulation. Like, each of the wolf's legs are simulated. They're like separate objects. And to turn around, you just move your cursor to the opposite side of the wolf. And again, it has this really cool 3D effect with 2D sprites. And you can even see that the front-facing sprite is reused for the icon there. Don't worry about this wolf life bar. I have never seen a wolf die. Because, unlike the Metal Slug, the wolf... It doesn't protect you from damage. Yeah, the wolf can get hit, but I shot that guy off the wolf, and I can get shot off of the wolf myself in the exact same way. Oh, and the wolf has an automatic melee attack if you get up in enemies' faces like that. Yeah, you see that little bit of damage? It does not go much lower than that. I might try to show it off, but something tells me Alexei just didn't want the wolves to die, ever. And I agree. The ragdolls of an animal are somehow not as humorous as the ragdolls of humans. I've always wondered why that is. Like, it's somehow okay to have a morbid sense of humor about your own species. Dunno. Something that I think about occasionally. Then again, I myself don't find the suffering of animals even remotely amusing. Now maybe killing bedbugs is cathartic, because I've been struggling with bedbugs at the time of recording this. You see that seat? That's what I was talking about earlier. with the turret wall not being finished on lower difficulties. Oh, this thing can grab you off your wolf, but thankfully I killed it. Oh, and slightly before that, you might have seen red letters with a number that says smash. That is a kind of a... I guess it's supposed to be a score bonus. I think it adds to your total based on how hard you kill an enemy with physics. Might be based on like velocity or impact, I'm not entirely sure. I have to be careful here. If you're already riding a wolf, the other wolf just runs off screen. You're free now. Well, you will be when I destroy this. Oh, I need to be very careful. You can press E to dismount. Probably should have been doing that. Yep. If a wolf is still aggressive, just mount it and dismount it, and it won't attack you again, I'm pretty sure. If you're struggling with this level, my advice would be don't stay on the wolf the whole time. It's much harder to dodge that way. Yep, you can just go through there like that. Was there anything here? I seem to remember, like, oh yeah, there's a bit of a technique with the wolf. If you jump and then dismount, you get a little bit of extra height, and that can be useful in a few places to skip or reach secret areas. It only comes up like once or twice, but it's still neat. Oh, right. These turret walls are never that hard, but they're also never alone. There's always some kind of support. So destructible bullets are there to distract you more than anything. I just got crushed by the wall itself. Damn. And the way the wolf just flipped over that wall, you can see how much stronger the wolf is, because you can't do that with Intrusion Man himself. Alright, orange was 3 life. There's also red life pickups, but I'll see how much they heal me for later. This is a bit of a secret, with the sign that says you're not supposed to be here. I think that sign appears in, like, out-of-bounds areas that are technically reachable. There's some crazy exploit of the physics, but I've only seen, like, this one and maybe another one. Alright, double rifle. So, this is the SMG, right? Has a bit of a random spread to it, uses 1 bullet per shot. The double rifle has separate ammo. It has no random spread. It shoots 2 bullets per shot. It basically does twice as much damage as the SMG, but its ammo is much more scarce, so I won't really be using it at all. In fact, I just kind of wasted some of it, showing it off. Oh, blaster soldiers, pretty scary. If you're low on life, shaking their aim can be the difference between life and death. Or if you don't notice them in time, they're just gonna snipe you and it's over. This section's kind of cool. You can either go under or over. I think I'll go under, because I typically go over. If you go over this tripod, you'll fight in a slightly different circumstance, and oh wow. I forgot how good that is. I think it's because the melee attack of the wolf hits every segment of the arms and all 3 of the arms. So that's a good way to kill tripods. Now I'm gonna go back up, because if I kill the tripod here, it's not gonna appear above. It's like a set piece with a slight variation depending on which direction you go, which is nice. I'd love to see it, like, say, keep doing it. Yeah, if I came up here, that tripod would have pushed this rock over and kind of tried to crush me or push me back. And I think this rock should make it a bit easier to jump across this gap. Let's see if I can. Yep. Oh, what? Okay. Smash 61. Huh. Maybe it's like 610 points, but I wasn't really paying attention. But again, in this game, score is not really good. Oh man, Alexei was also working on just a straight up shmup with a similar physics system to this. I forget, I think it was called Jetpack Squad. It looked so cool. I hope he finishes it one day. But I know indie devs have like a lot of unfinished projects. I was amazed when I started digging to see more of Joachim Sandberg's work. He's the developer of Iconoclasts. He had so many abandoned projects. And I understand that's the nature of game development, but it's also like some of those projects probably would have been really cool. There was one, I think he called it Gorgon, and it was like a side-scroller where you can attach a chain to various points to create platforms. It reminded me of a certain Nitrome game. I'm just throwing out all of the names, but Nitrome were, well, Nitrome are still around, but they used to make Flash games. Obviously not anymore. I think they last made Shovel Knight Dig, which was pretty fun. It's actually one of my favorite Shovel Knight games, just because Nitrome made it, and I can feel it. But yeah, Nitrome had a game called Dirk Valentine, kind of a similar concept to Gorgon, but it was more freeform because you can attach the chain to any surface, and various hazards and enemies would interact with the chain. But regardless, Joachim Sandberg's work is so... his art style is just amazing. It's still crazy to me that Iconoclasts was made just by him. But then I remember that since I played the first demo for Iconoclasts, I've switched houses like 4 times. So maybe it does make sense. He really committed to that game. Maybe I'll play it someday and talk about it. I have a lot to say about Iconoclast as well. Oh, crap. Counter Blaster. So, normally you're supposed to go around, but what I did there was the wolf jump. If you just jump with the wolf without dismounting, you're not going to make it up here. But dismounting gives you that extra boost to reach the checkpoint early. I'm really jumping around topics, but back to the scoring system of this game. There's kind of an interesting design choice here. They're called high score attempts. It's basically a live system that only applies to scoring, which I think is a neat compromise. Oh god. Can I... well, it's gonna destroy the icicle anyway, but I might as well try to damage this thing in advance. Obviously the blaster's really good for it as well. Anything piercing, just get out of here, tripods. Nice. Wait. You're typically supposed to push that rock over, but I guess the tripod got it this time. That has never happened for me before. Also, the rock typically falls down here. Intrusion 2's physics, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, the rock's even covering up a tent. Oh no. Normally when I have to mash a button, I change the placement of my hands. Like I go two-handed on one part of the controls. In the case of the mouse, I hold the mouse with one hand and then I click rapidly with the other. So that's how that quick time event is so easy. And going through this game really is second nature at this point. I feel like I'm moving really fast. Oh, another setup. Those guys even have a patrol path right there to let you crush them. Oh, well, I guess I'll do that later. There is something up there. Should probably use some blaster ammo here. What's this? Oh, another tripod. That's not a big deal. Maybe they're not called tripods, but that's what I've always called them. There are some other enemies that I know the canonical names of. Well, one other enemy, but that's way later. So now that that tripod is dead. Curses. I guess I never finished that thought about Gorgon, that unreleased. But, well, it's part of the charm. These silly physics. Rubber trees and janky wolves. There's a secret stash up here, that's how you get it. I didn't get to show it up, but if you jump here, as you trigger the tripod, the door actually has an invisible wall that extends all the way up here, and you can move past it and get stuck behind it, so you're just up here. I don't think you can even move back, you're just stuck in this exact spot I'm standing in. And you have to just jump and shoot the tripod to kill it. Probably an oversight, but it's not that bad. Oh yeah, that's the end of that. Okay, did I still not finish the thought about Joachim Sandberg? Basically, if he made a full-fledged puzzle platforming, maybe action game, just some broad side-scroller concept with that chain gimmick, and used the exact character as the protagonist that he did, who was the design for Agent Black from Iconoclasts. He used that design for Gorgon. I'm like, God damn it, I love Black so much, I would love to play a game as her. But you know, that's because I love Black in the context of Intrusion 2. Intrusion 2? I'm playing Intrusion 2. And Iconoclasts. So we just got a bunch of supply crates after a screen transition. And this music is a little ominous. I think you can guess what happens next, but let me just get on the wolf. The wolf doesn't want to go? I don't think I've ever waited long enough to hear this part of the music. Kinda cool. Definitely builds up tension. And yeah, this is the first boss. It's called Grabber. Oh my god, I love this game. This still hits me so well. Oh god. It's a heavy chain gun. It has a few different patterns with the chain gun, you can kind of learn them. Sometimes it aims at you, sometimes it sweeps. And of course, it'll try to punch you. Or crush you, I guess. Yeah, no, it's aiming at me. Look at the physics on the frickin' what is the word for that, actually? It's not a magazine. Is that a clip? Well, it's chain fin. That's what I know. I'm not great with guns. I absolutely love that. No. Bad intrusion, man. How dare you? It's just such an amazing spectacle of a boss. Oh, and this music is Let's Rock. I think it's a pretty fitting theme for fights like this. Although every boss has its own music, actually. Something I didn't point out earlier, the enemy faction in this game has a logo. You can see it right there on the boss. I think it appears... I think it's on the helmets of the soldiers. Again, the resolution's below. Yeah, it is. It's in red. Well, this time we have to shoot this thruster, because the enemies are just going to keep spawning. This phase is a bit less interesting, because the boss doesn't pose any threat. It just keeps vomiting enemies at you. And this is actually kind of similar to the first boss of Intrusion 1, if I remember correctly. It's just a ship with 2 thrusters, but no mechanical arms, so it's not nearly as cool. I just had a thought. I was talking about iconoclasts earlier, or at least I mentioned it a few times. Iconoclasts has a helicopter with robotic arms. It's very similar to this boss. It's probably just a coincidence, but I can't help but wonder. I have to shoot the back thruster, and this happens again. These do despawn given enough time, so... thankfully stuff that despawns can't crush you. I think this had a big health. Yeah, it's 5. Nice. And I've said hit points, health, and life. Typically, life is my go-to, so I'm just gonna stick with that from here on out. But yeah, this phase and the previous phase are kind of whatever. It can get a little hectic if you get these soldiers with the darker armor are tankier, and they generally carry stronger weapons. Oh, I should be using the double rifle, of course. These guys drop, like some of them are wielding double rifles, so you definitely want to use it here. Okay, so major change on high difficulty. This section is way harder, and I'm probably going to die here. It's a bit of an auto-scroller. And you can actually make progress during this auto-scroller if you shoot the... So the whole issue here is that the boss is faster on high difficulty. You kind of need the physics to launch you forward, like there, where the log pushed me ahead. If something like that doesn't happen once or twice, you can't outrun the boss. It's pretty brutal, actually. Yeah, during that whole chase, you can shoot the windshield on the cockpits. And you can actually take out one of them before you even get to the last phase here. Oh, the boss can crush you, by the way, so don't stay too close. That happened to me once, and I felt really stupid. Pretty simple pattern, but I want to show off. If you get grabbed, this happens. It's just unavoidable damage. Oh, crap. That does 3. Wow. I don't think it does that much on lower difficulties, but... makes sense, right? So basically the grab does damage. Just has a nice scripted animation. That was the first boss. Before we continue, if we continue, I want to check how long this recording has been. Maybe that's a good enough stopping point, actually. It's basically a third of the game there. It's quite short. But what's the point in making a 1 to 2 hour video? I think it's fine to just stop here. I just hope it actually saved. No, it definitely saved, because at this point we're in the next part of the game. The boss is over. Oh. Wait, was there an option to go back to the menu? Oh well, I'll just boot up the game and I can actually see. Assuming this works. I don't know if that showed up. Yeah, so it unlocks Shattered Slide, so a bit of a preview, I suppose. I'll end it here, and next time I'll do another third of the game. When I feel like recording again. Thank you for watching.